Peasant Magic here with a deck profile, and today I'm going to show you my modern Ormendahl elves. So here we go. This is the deck. We are playing a very simple land base. We are playing a lot of forests along with a sheep oasis, a new card that allows you to tap for colorless mana or for green. And in addition to it, you can just pay 3 mana and sacrifice the Hashib Oasis to give a creature +3/+3. This is very important to make the deck more resilient. If you get hit by something like a Wrath of God or just mass removal in general, it allows you to just lay creatures down, attack for a bunch, and just to give you a better clock. Then next up we got to Vestwell Abbey. Vestwell Abbey transforms into Ormendahl, and this is just a very strong card. If your opponent does not play white, he won't be able to Path to Exile it. So in general, this card will win you games against decks like, for example, Scape Shift, Titan Breach, decks that couldn't really handle flying 9/7 indestructible creature. Then we got Pendelhaven. We're just playing one Pendelhaven because it's a legendary land, but one Pendelhaven along with a bunch of 1/1s in our main deck is just perfect, and I really like one. So then we got 17 1-drops. We got 4 Mystic Elf or Elvish Mystic. We got 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Heritage Druids, 4 Nettle Sentinel, and 1 Arbor Elf. So I really like the 1 Arbor Elf in the main deck, just to give you another creature that, so to speak, taps for mana. It's not that good with a Hashib Oasis because you won't be able to tap the Hashib Oasis, but you will usually be able to just untap a forest, because we're playing a bunch of forests, and this is just additional one mana mana elf. Yeah, Heritage Druid is a very important card in the deck, because it allows you to get this whole speed, and along with Nettle Sentinel, if you got 3 Nettle Sentinels, you'll basically just OTK your opponent, or it lets you combo off with an nearly infinite mana combo, and this is very strong. So let's go to the 2 mana drops. We got 4 Dwynen's Elite and 4 Elvish Visionary. These are just very nice creatures. Dwynen's Elite presents just elves that work really great with Heritage Druid, and that's a very important card. And Elvish Visionary lets you hit your land drops, which is also very important. Then next up are 3 mana slots for Elvish Archdruid. It taps for a bunch of mana, and Elvish Archdruid on turn 3, followed by turn 4 Izuri, is usually game. You'll be able to just attack with your whole board. You'll have something like Dwynen's Elite and 1 or 2 Elvish Mystic, or just mana elves, and then you'll attack your opponent for 20, and this is usually enough. You'll just tap the Archdruid to create something like 5 or 6 mana, and then you'll pay it for the Izuri activated ability. Elf creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample. To get our combo going, we're using 2 Court of Calling. Court of Calling is really good, but I wouldn't play more than 2, because we are playing yeah, just some kind of a more resilient list using our 4 Lead the Stampede. The reason why I like Lead the Stampede really much is that you'll be able to have a look at your top cards of your library, and you will just get every creature into your hand. And this is really strong. Again, if your opponent uses something like a mass removal, you'll be able to get back a board, which is really important. Then we are playing, of course, for Collected Company. Collected Company on turn 3 is usually game and will find you your combo pieces, Elvish Archdruid and Izuri. Okay, then next up we got our sideboard. We are playing 2 Ghost Quarter, 1 Essence Warden. Ghost Quarter usually against Tron, Eldrazi-Tron sometimes. Then we got Essence Warden. Essence Warden is a really great card against creature-based decks that try to build a very fast clock, something like the Modern Humans deck that's around, that has been around for quite some time, and of course against Burn. Then next up we got Heroic Intervention. This card is just brilliant against any deck that plays red, because it prevents us from getting Anger of God, and is just a very strong card in general. If you think your opponent will side in board sweeps, you will just side in 1 or sometimes 2 Heroic Interventions. Then we got 2 Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze is very good against Snapcaster decks. It's very good against the black-green rock deck. It prevents our opponent from creating huge Tarmogoyfs, and this is just a really strong card. And it's also good against Burn. So we are playing 2 Scavenging Ooze in our sideboard. Then we got 1 Melira. Melira is there for Infect, and it's just one of these silver bullets we can search out with Code of Calling. But it's also very good against Affinity, because your opponent won't be able to put marks on his creatures. And then we got 2 Reclamation Sage. Reclamation Sage is also very good against Affinity, against combo-based decks, because it lets you destroy an artifact or an enchantment. And it's also searchable via Code of Calling, Lead the Stampede, or Collected Company. Then we are playing 1 Elvish Champion. Just a very strong card against green decks, because all our elves get +1/+1 plus Forest Walk, which is really nice, and I really like 1 in the sideboard. Last but not least, for the 3 mana slots in our sideboard, we got 2 Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks is really important against our Burn matchup, because usually 1 Kitchen Finks wins us the game. Gaining 3 life is usually just game against the Burn deck, because they won't be able to attack. We can just block, trade our Kitchen Finks for Goblin Guide, and sometimes for Monastery Swiss Spear, and we are also creating life, and this wins us the game in our Burn matchup. Then we got 2 4 mana slots, Creep and Corrosion, of course against artifact-based decks like Affinity. Really strong card. Nothing more to say about that. And then we got 1 Chameleon Colossus. This card is really good against black decks, black-based decks. and really strong against the black-green rock deck. Okay guys, so this is it for the deck profile, and later I'm going to show you some gameplay.